Shut up and sit down.
Welcome to the Health and Wealth Podcast with your hosts, Tim and Carter.
What's trending, Enrichers? Carter Wilcoxon, founder of CSI Financial Group here, with my co-host and former wealth advisor, Tim James, founder of
ChemicalFreeBody.com and your new health advisor. This is the show where we reveal the connection between physical and financial abundance.
Hey, Enrichers, welcome to another podcast, the Health and Wealth Podcast with Carter and Tim. I'm joined with my co-host, Tim James from
ChemicalFreeBody.com. Thanks for having me on again. I can't believe you keep me as a partner.
Well, you know what? You're one of the greatest co-hosts I've ever had.
And the only one, I think. But
the only one. But
what the heck, I'll take it.
We started at the very top, and then, it's just all downhill from there. And I'm really excited about today's show, Tim, because I have one of my dearest friends that's been in this incredible industry that we call the financial services industry for decades, and one of our strategic partners on some of the value add that CSI Financial Group brings. I'm very pleased to welcome today from WebPrez, Mr. Dan Viñal. Dan, how are you doing today?
I'm good, Carter. I'm so happy to be here and share this with you guys. It's really looking forward to kicking around some ideas.
Yeah, that's well, whenever I reached out to you just a few days ago, actually, and as I was telling Dan earlier that we record once a week so that we can launch this once a week and everything. We had a few other people that I had lined up, but after I talked to Dan, I was like, Dan, are you available? I know this is short notice, but are you available tomorrow? And he goes, well, when is it? And of course, you're in Puerto Rico. We're going to talk about, that here in a little bit, but it was a different time zone. I'm like, well, that's pretty late in Atlanta. I don't know if you're available. That's great.
Yeah.
You're like, no, I will be. And I said, then you're on, because we absolutely have got to get out to the advisor partners prospectively, or those who we currently work with who don't understand the value that they have when it comes to client acquisition and getting other opportunities for different sales and these solutions that you provide because of the investment that CSI Financial Group invested into your platform. And of course, we're going to ask you, your background here in a second and how we got started together. But I really, really want to make sure I hammer home the point on the podcast today. Enrichers, if you're listening, make sure you listen to the entire show, because we're going to talk about how we can enhance your business, which is what this is all about, growing your practice. But this process and this platform that Dan has is available exclusively, primarily at through CSI Financial Group. So, Dan, if you don't mind, let's go ahead and let you share with the audience today, the enrichers that are listening, on where you come from, what your background is, how long you've been in the space, and maybe share with them on how we got connected and why we're here today.
Yeah, I'll try to keep that fairly succinct and of interest. So just so I can relate to everybody there, I was a financial advisor. I would call myself a financial sales professional in the San Francisco Bay Area, which is where I was born and raised, between 1975 and 1995. And so for about a 20-year period, I was helping mostly business owners and private practice professionals, mostly accountants and attorneys, with everything from life insurance and business insurance, employee benefits, disability income, all of that sort of thing, just like you guys. Unfortunately, or maybe fortunately, at that time was well before the advent of index products. And so I got out of the business after 20 years. I actually sold my business, part of it, the employee benefits, to my brother, who was my partner in that. And then I had another partner in the life and annuity side and sold it to him. My background, my educational background is in behavioral psychology and cognitive linguistics, which is in layman's terms, it's essentially how we process language and how we interpret language, both the sound of language and the connotation of words, how we process that meaning and how we respond to it. So with that sort of background, I was drawn to in the burgeoning .com industry, where you could begin. This is like in 1998, at the height of the .com, where it was growing at a rate that you could actually begin streaming video over the internet. And I had partnered up with a top-of-the-table producer who was doing continuing education for CPAs throughout California, and was in a position to work with the AICPA for the whole United States, and wanted to basically take his dog and pony show on the road with buses and cameras and all of that stuff. And at the time I said, no, why don't we look at doing it over the internet, which was, nobody had done anything like that. So we put something together, didn't really know what we were doing, but developed some technology, which that company ended up going bankrupt because my partner died of a massive heart attack at 48 years old the day we launched. We were being sponsored by Pacific Life and Minnesota Mutual, so we had good backing, but it all kind of fell apart because he was the front man. Anyway, that because...
Dan, hold on a second, because this is just I never interrupt, but I have to this time, because this is another reason why we're doing this show, being the health guy. Like, if you don't have your health, you have nothing.
Yeah.
Right. And
exactly.
your poor health doesn't affect just you. It affects everybody else around you. Because what did that do? Look what it did to you. I mean, all this time and effort and the launch, and poof. And
it cost a lot of people a lot of money. His family was, destroyed. It was, And it wasn't, he was a healthy guy. I mean, he appeared to be healthy. He had a congenital heart problem that, had he been more cognizant of it, probably could have done some things about it. But he literally, according to the EMTs, he was jogging, which he does every morning, or which he was doing every morning. And they said he had a massive heart attack and he was dead before he hit the ground. So we don't know what tomorrow brings, which is, not, I don't want to use it as a segue at this point, but at some point it does get into estate planning, which is the focal point of the client acquisition program that CSI has put together. But not to digress, I just want to say the technology we developed in that project belonged to me. And so I brought it over and started WebPrez videos. And then in 2008, we were originally doing it as sales videos on the internet for all kinds of companies. Our biggest client was Visa International. But we started doing it because my background in the insurance and financial services started putting together these 3 to 6 minute video vignettes explaining a variety of life insurance, annuity, health insurance, employee benefits, all sorts of financial concept solutions, things like key man insurance and split dollar and executive bonus, things like that. And we put together a whole gallery, which now is about 120 videos. And we have now not only put the videos together, but we've created campaigns, 6 campaigns with 3 more in development, drip marketing campaigns using these videos, so that any agent or advisor who has a database or a list of clients, leads, and prospects can plug into the system, and it automatically drips on those people with a different video solution every week, indefinitely. And whenever somebody on the list watches one of the videos, the system sends the agent or advisor an email message saying, hey, this person is looking at this video right now, and here's their name and email address and phone number. Give them a call. So that's what we do.
Yeah. Let me jump in right there real fast, because this was one of the things that I wanted to make sure we hammered this home. If you're listening to this podcast or watching it on YouTube, please understand that CSI Financial Group prides itself on bringing value every chance we get. We have invested a lot of money and partnered up with WebPrez, all in the effort of trying to help you grow your practice. These concepts that WebPrez presents and the marketing campaigns, and Dan, you and I were just talking about this yesterday, like we can't make it any more done for you
Right.
than we are doing. But because of the relationship that our advisor partners have with CSI Financial Group, you get this value. Number one, you have a dashboard that you can personalize, and it has all of your information, your headshot, your contact info. So when it goes out, when you either use it for Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, whatever it is, and there's inside the dashboard, easy ways to share it, right, Dan? It's real simple and easy to be able to share these individual videos that are then going to be utilized to get the viewer to neurolinguistically, and you can talk more about that yourself, Dan, but to be able to get these concepts understood, right? 3 to 6 minute videos. We have invested a lot of money into your practice already, so that when you come here, you're going to get incredible value that nobody else is providing. Dan, am I overstating that?
No, you're absolutely right. And not only that, but I mean, the relationship that you and I have had from the very beginning has been instrumental in many of the videos that we've developed for the gallery. And in fact, I said we're developing 3 new campaigns, and one of those campaigns is estate planning. Simply because estate planning is sort of the flagship of the CSI marketing system. And we want to be able to support that and your advisors. And, I would like to take one moment here, to recognize that I think that you're very forward thinking. CSI is very forward, or Carter is very forward thinking in addressing the estate planning market, because having been a sales professional in that market for many years, and having done a lot of estate planning, and having actually worked with Arthur Andersen and their estate planning division in San Francisco, had a lot of experience there, and I understand a lot of the dynamics. But I can tell you that things are changing very, very rapidly in the financial services in so many ways, and we could talk about this for hours. But estate planning is going to be the default mechanism for engaging clients in the future for the sale of all types of insurance products. So if you are buying into this estate plan, if you are playing in this sandbox, you are way ahead of your competitors. And the only thing I want to add to that is, and CSI, or Carter and I, on the same page here, a lot of the advisors and agents that we deal with and are my age and older, and they're very transaction oriented. And if you're transaction oriented and all you want are leads, and all you want to do is sell somebody and then move on to the next one, that's not a business. You're just a sales agent. And that's okay. You can make a lot of money doing that. That's fine. But that's not what I built WebPrez for. And it's not why CSI and Carter and I have come together. And it's not what Carter's building. We are helping people build a sustainable business, a business that has market value, that can be resold, or can be passed on to the next generation. We are building, I sometimes call it a comparison between the hunter and a rancher. So if a hunter's going to eat, he's got to go out into the wilderness, and he's got to look around for something to kill and take home and eat. But the rancher, no. He breeds stock, and when he needs to eat, he just goes out to the herd, he calls one out, and he eats for that day. He never worries about ever having food. We want you to be ranchers, and the WebPrez system and the CSI system are here to help you become ranchers, and so that you have a sustainable business that you always have money coming from.
Yeah. And I will go ahead and I'll say it out loud to you enrichers that are listening right now. Hopefully you are an advisor partner already, or you're looking at becoming an advisor partner. First of all, make sure you guys subscribe to the Health and Wealth podcast, right? Because you're going to get all this type of information. And Dan, I think that you can appreciate the fact that I have been completely laser focused on client acquisition.
Yeah.
For the advisor. Product is not the unmet need in this industry. Plenty of product to go around, right? And it all begins and ends with client acquisition. Those are 2 phrases I use ad nauseum. But what I want to talk about here is specifically what you just touched on, that done for you marketing system that is ready to go, geared up, ready to go. If you already have, clients that you work with, if you've been in the business for 10, 15, 20, 25 years, you should have a very nice database of people. This system that is super cost effective, if you went somewhere else, would not be what I'm getting ready to tell you. Because you're an advisor partner, not only do you get these 120 videos that we have, you also get this drip marketing campaign done for you. And we mean done for you. There's a whole process of onboarding, making sure you're set to go, beginning to end. Dan, it can't be more than 30 or 45 minutes to get set up and ready to go.
It doesn't even take that. All you need to do, the setup, is simply entering your profile, uploading your photo image, putting in your contact information, and typing in your business description. The system then creates your landing pages, your video pages, your email messages. It does all of that for you, and it's all customized. And you literally do it one time, and then it runs for you. And you don't do anything with it again. The only thing you need to do is just keep adding people to your list. And it's that simple, and it works. You get about a 1 to 2% sales opportunities from your list every week. So if you've got a list of 500 clients, leads, prospects, you're going to get 5 to 10 sales opportunities, very specific qualified sales opportunities every week. So that's 40 to 80 a month. And I know, having been in that having been in that business, if I have 40 to 80 qualified prospects every month, I'm happy. I'm making a lot of money, and I'm never worrying about where my next commission's coming from.
Now, and I think I'm gonna lead with this. I'm gonna tell you exactly what the price is that is gonna blow you away, and hopefully you enrichers are sitting down and ready. We'll get you on the next segment coming up. Tim, let's go ahead and take them out and bring them back in a minute, and then we'll talk all about the price.
All right, let's do it. And also, when we get back to, I want you guys to share with the enrichers the neurolinguistic power and the difference between estate planning versus family succession planning. We'll be right back.
If you build it, they will come. For most financial advisors, the subject of estate planning for their clients is relegated to a side activity, only to be left to disconnected third-party outsourcing. Rather than recognizing the opportunities it inherently provides, advisors very often view estate planning-related work as a time-consuming, unproductive process. Unfortunately, this kind of remiss and costly attitude is derived mostly from unquestioning acceptance of half-truths or even outright fiction. Another factor is simply the lack of relevant knowledge and a team of experts to partner with. Hello, I'm Carter Wilcoxon, CEO and founder of CSI Financial Group and architect of the Advisor Partner Platform. Over the next few minutes, I'm going to update you on how this one-of-a-kind and unprecedented process has changed the lives for so many. When we set out on this journey to connect advisors with clients, we never imagined that we would actually find out that clients or prospective clients needed advisors just as much. The knowledge that we have gained when making accessible our entire team approach has brought to the general public a seamless, cost-effective, and comprehensive way to have true peace of mind. Because of this, when our advisor partners use this collaborative effort, the reward for them at the end has been nothing short of life-changing. All too often we hear words like revolutionary, innovative, or turnkey when describing something to make it more than it is. And in this IMO world that we've been competing in, those are descriptions of empty promises that have given this industry an unenviable reputation. So, after almost 2 decades of being pigeonholed and forced to be part of a system that we didn't create, it was our true intention to recreate. CSI Financial Group is paving the way for what we now call ourselves, a practice development organization, or PDO. Our advisor partner platform is just the beginning of what we are building, and we are encouraging those who are wanting to truly transform their business and stand out from the rest to come learn more. When you partner with us, you'll get all the exclusive tools, resources, and processes needed to cement your ideal clients while creating professional contracts. We look forward to hearing from you and sharing more. Thank you.
All right, Enrichers, Tim James here with my partner Carter in crime. He's a diabolical man, helping everybody make money.
Yes.
We've got the CEO and founder of WebPrez, P-R-E-Z. That's WebPrez.com. Dan Viñal. He's down in Puerto Rico, so I can't wait to talk about the Puerto Rico stuff. But, you guys were just talking about a list, and I really want to share this. Like, when I was a financial advisor, I had other people on the team kind of doing the mailing and all that stuff. All I was doing was in the trenches, meeting with people, doing presentations, signing the documents, and then turning it off to the team, so they could do the rest of the stuff. It was just, that's what my job as a salesperson, like you were talking about, Dan. Your business, your business is your list, and that list needs to be maintained. If you're not really focusing on it because you don't have the tech skills and you're not like, oh, I don't know how to send out an email blast, and I don't want to get in trouble with spamming and all this other stuff, you're missing the boat so bad you don't even know it. That's where people at CSI Financial will pick you up and just do it for you and make it easy, because like I know it just is in real estate agents and mortgage people, somebody's moving every 5 years. So 20% of your list is moving. They're going to be a deal, right? So if you have 1,000 person database, 20%, 200 people are going to be moving every single month or every year. That's 16 opportunities could you imagine having 16 new listings as a real estate agent? Well, it's the same thing as a financial advisor. When you have this list that's built up and you're really taking care of this list. And here's another thing. You need to be mailing your list daily. Okay. The statistics are showing, I'm learning all about building lists. If you're not mailing your list daily, there's drop off on it. There's more people getting unsubscribing when you don't mail daily. You have to stay in front of them. Are you guys mailing daily, Carter? I hope I'm setting you up for something good. But
No. We email on usually I do, and you should have gotten my email this last Tuesday. I have what's called Tuesday transformation. When I put something out, I personally do that to my most directly connected advisor partners, as we call them. So I'm doing that personally, but then we use our own system, Constant Contact, that we're sending out regular every single week, sometimes twice a week. By the way, we'll send out something new and exciting, or, again, I'm always trying to bring value every chance that I get, but we're sending at least once a week stuff that's going out.
Yeah. And it also depends on your list. But my point here is, do not be scared of building a list. And it's so easy. You just have to pull yourself out of it and really do a little homework, and you find out, well, this isn't that hard. But in the meantime, you've got CSI Financial's got your back, and you can just start doing your emails in that email list and building that list. It really is your biggest asset, and that's what your value is that list. So I just want to bring that up for those of you that were like me, that were super untech savvy, that let there be some invisible barrier in between mailing people and doing that. Don't let that stop you from doing it. They'll just turnkey it for you, so you got to think about it. You can learn it later. You don't even need to learn if you don't want to, because they got your back on it. So I just wanted to bring that up. So why don't you get into that, Dan, that estate planning versus family succession planning? What's the difference as far as neurolinguistics and the power of that?
Okay, good question, Tim. So cognitive linguistics, as I said, is about how we interpret language, how we interpret words. And the insurance industry, John Hancock did a study a couple of years ago and discovered that a lot of the terminology we use in the insurance industry, whether they're acronyms or just words like premium, are misnomers. They're deliberately misleading. A premium is nothing but a price. It's a cost. Well, we don't say price or cost because that's not the way the contracts work. But when people hear the word premium, they think gas or a bonus. They don't think that I'm paying for something. So when somebody says, "Oh, your premium for your insurance policy is this," cognitively, it doesn't make any sense to them. So when we talk about estate planning, and I mentioned this to Carter and yourself a little while ago, the word estate implies to people, rightly or wrongly, whether it's a dictionary definition or not, but the way people interpret the word estate is that estates are big. Those are castles and big land holdings, and people with multimillionaires and billionaires, and they have estates. I don't have an estate. Just really wealthy people have estates. So if you say estate planning, it doesn't apply to me. I'm not interested. It's over my head. So we've got to get people, and what happens then is the advisors, they say, well, you have to understand estate planning is for everybody because this is what it means. And now they're into overcoming the inertia where the person says, oh, estate planning, I don't need that. Now you can turn that around by using words that immediately resonate with everybody. And that is family. So if people have children, if they have a family, they immediately say, oh, family, that's important to me. My ears perk up. I want to hear that. Succession, I understand succession. Succession is about the next generation taking over, or about passing things on to the next generation. So family, that's my generation, and succession, passing things on, and it's planning. Hey, that makes sense. I want to do that. I've got to do it. Whether I have a very small net worth or a very large net worth, everybody needs to do family succession planning. And if they use that terminology, they're going to have much more receptivity talking to somebody at a cocktail party or a backyard barbecue, or whether they're doing advertising on the internet or in social media, wherever it is. If they use the family succession planning, they're going to get a much better response than if they use the word estate planning.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. I think it's going to resonate better with them. It's a fifth grade language. And why would you want to make your job any harder? It's kind of like, I can't remember what it is, like 51 yeses to a sale. It's like something like encyclopedia salespeople do. They knock on your door. Is this your house? Yes, it is. They start there. Why would you start off with a no and then have to overcome it? It's
all of our videos are done that way. So there's a lot of, sometimes people come over and they look at our videos and they say, hey, they're not those little cartoon characters. This is where the words appear on the screen and they match up with the narrative. So we find that when you do that, the brain processes watch a movie or watch some action on the screen, which is potentially distracting from the brain processing the words. So we employ over 40 scientific communication techniques in the scripting, and I don't have the brain capacity to understand all that and also be a marketing specialist and also be a client acquisition specialist and advisor in a way that is turnkey, that is literally turnkey. And for our part of it, we do video drip marketing. I have some value I can share with you. That is, you put that list into our system and run a campaign, leads, new prospects, qualified prospects into your campaigns automatically. And you don't need to do anything. It'll automatically.
You could go directly to WebPrez.com. And if you're already a member there and everything, good on you. We wanted videos for life and annuity already live on the websites. But this drip marketing campaign, everything Dan just got through talking about, you put the credit card in there and it's just on autopilot, $33 a month. I mean, how many clients do you
now talking about the consumer price index versus monetary devaluation with all the quantitative easing, all of the money that's coming into the system? Talk about doing software. The cost of software is almost negligible. So as you said, this is when I was in business.
Should have a button that could just reach out and slap somebody if they don't do it. I mean, literally, if you don't do something like that, you just really are not in.
Response that my advisors get back when these conceptual neurolinguistic videos go out for these unique concepts, whether it's a drive, whether it's your prospects or your suspects, it doesn't matter. This is the ideal way to literally,
because Carter's covering the cost.
so, hey, listen, I mean, I pride myself again in helping advisors.
Yeah.
That's not what they're into. They're into pounding the phone, hey, let me tell you about the latest cap or the commission or the experience. Now, for you enrichers out there, you hear elevate the client experience. You may think, since I'm in distribution, I'm talking about, I understood that from the advisor's perspective. So when I went out and I started CSI Financial Group, right, from the garage, question, go look in the mirror real fast and ask yourself this question. What makes me different from the other hundreds of advice practices before I even know you, by the way? Before I really get to know you, by the way. A competitor is what separates and differentiates not only CSI Financial Group, but by extension, you out there in the field, that you are in this.
Because if the insurance companies and the financial companies can find a way to do the transactions without you, they are going to do it without you. Ship with that they trust. So the competitive distinction is not between one agent and another agent, or advisor and another advisor.
A moral compass. It's almost like you have a moral obligation to go out and build and develop these relationships for this tidal wave of technology. We're huge. We're Edward Jones, and it's like,
right.
So what? Like, what do you do? I know I've talked to tons of Edward Jones agents, like their portfolio, and we're really going to protect you. And then they don't know that it's a bad mutual fund, and they don't even know that most mutual funds in general, the mutual fund manager is here. As a kid, was exposed to some toxins and developed some health issues because of it. And
they need to, that shit or get off the pot, as my dad used to say, right? Like,
yeah.
You want the absolute best for yourself, and you want it to be easy. That's why we created Green 85. It helps with detoxifying the body gently. We're proud it's chemical-free, unlike almost all other supplements you'll find. Bottom line, Green 85 will get you healthier. We look forward to hearing what Green 85 did for you.
To get this product and our other amazing products, go to chemicalfreebody.com. That's chemicalfreebody.com.
And mostly an investment advisor, right?
7 years. So I had my Series 7, my 66, and then I also was a licensed insurance agent. We did a lot of annuity. Look, there's things we can do here that are part of the tax code. And what we would do is, like, I think you had to make like about $300,000 to $400,000 within the tax code that applies to you. And by doing this, we can reduce your this much. It's going to cost this to do it. Do you want to do it or not? And then it was always like a no. Things to get done. You're working 16, 18-hour days just trying to get this shit done. You're not doing any tax planning. Most of your clients are in tax reaction mode. If you got CEO and founder of neurolinguistics based business, WebPrez, which seems to be the deal of the century, health, all that other stuff doesn't matter. You can build a successful practice. You can sell the business. You got lots of money. You're traveling around with your wife or your husband, and you got a beautiful
exposure to toxins. My father owned a company that sold pesticides, herbicides, fungicides. And of course, that's where we played. So we grew up with that. And in every pesticide, herbicide there was, my dad was using it because that was his business. Age, I became, I stayed away from aluminum-based underarm deodorant and water that was not around my age group. My wife and I are the only ones who are not on any medications whatsoever. And that we deliberately.
Yeah, it's definitely a breakthrough. So, man, it's like DDT is such a bad thing. I mean, I'm looking at a picture online right now where these people that are doing this kind of stuff, I mean, it's just kind of the same thing. I can't tell you how many.
It's reprehensible. It's
food supplies. The USDA found that DDT breakdown products in 60% of heavy cream samples, 42% of kale greens, 28% of carrots, and a low pesticide action network. I mean, it's just crazy. And this is one chemical. We know that there's over 100,000 man-made toxic chemicals out there. Awareness on how to, build your business. And we also want to build awareness onto how to build your health and build your immune system so that you can enjoy the fruits. And you're doing insurance. How many people are getting turned down for insurance, or they're paying high rates? And, how hard is it to get long-term care insurance? It's pretty tough to curve and realize this stuff. So I guess let me ask you a question. If you sound like a pretty healthy guy, but what would be if you were to ask me a question?
A pretty good routine, but I developed chronic inflammation that I have today. So toxins that are contributing to the inflammation. And then it's become a chronic problem. So I don't know if it's a neurological thing. Every day is the day after it. You're recovering from a really heavy workout. That's what it feels like every day.
Okay. So there's no organs today. Why?
Yeah.
Estrogen mimickers from plastics. So this is an example of these 100,000 toxic chemicals we're talking about, just like DDT. We don't know because we're decent people. We don't think somebody would do something so diabolical to us, whether they did it on purpose, intentionally or unintentionally, but that's the reality of it. So tap water by chance?
Well, I am, but we run it through a filter, so we don't drink it from the tap.
Okay, but a filter, vacation homes, traveling, motorhomes, that kind of stuff. But what you'd want to get a purifier. I would say recommend a triple purifier, because when you get a purification unit, it's only getting these molecules. You want to have a 4 to 5 cluster water molecule, and you're going to be probably city water is like 20 to 25. So your membrane structured now, your absorbability is amazing. You're going to have 80% more absorption of the food nutrients you're eating, the products and supplements that you're taking, right? So noucha.com. It's like Dan Ouch with the A on the end. Okay. It's like Polish for Donna. And charging the water with molecular hydrogen, those aren't cheap. Those are about $4,800. But when you couple those two things together, now you've just invested in something that's so simple. It's 185 times more absorbable and anti-inflammatory. That's going to be a direct assault on inflammation. We definitely recommend that. I would also, for you, look into what's called a Scouts or whatever. You had a compass, and the thing moves, right? Well, what is that? The compass is picking up the Earth's magnetic field, right? Well, that field has, boom, baby, inflammation begins. This is not woo-woo. This is measurable. I can take samples of your blood right now, look at it under this. You're now back into contact with Mother Nature. And what we forget is we get so busy in our modern lifestyles that we forget that we are nature. And is outside of your home or your commercial office, every home has an iron rod driven down into the ground. And that's outside sleeping on the ground, and you're getting the exact same current from the earth, and that's going to reduce inflammation, improve your sleep, and improve. Okay, but those are just a few things. So look into good water. I would take our turmeric product. The greens we have too also reduces inflammation in the body.
Thank you very much for hanging out with us for this podcast, and it's been just such a phenomenal opportunity to third podcast he's got. I know that he's going to be talking about that. Health Heroes are his listeners there. Phenomenal podcast, great information. I have been so blessed to know for almost 10 years now. Dan, thank you so much for being a guest today on the Health and Wealth Podcast with Carter and Tim.
Part of what you're doing. Thank you.
Yes.
Thanks a lot, Dan.
So, and Richard, until next time, make sure to like, subscribe, share this with those who you can.
It's an ancient formula from India. My first goal with my clients is to get the pathway of elimination cleaned up. Average person's got about 6 to 12 pounds of viscous brown black mucus. It's called a mucoid plaque, and it stores the toxins. They're trying to protect them from going through the intestinal lining and getting into those. All right. Then after that, it's just 3 a day for maintenance, and long-term it'll help clean out your organ systems. Number 2, the toxin detox was the fat and the muscle tissue level, and start chelating out these heavy metals, the radiation that you've been exposed to, and the toxic chemicals. Ever done a liver gallbladder flush?
I have. I have used Dr. Schultz's Herb Doc routine.
Get on our products for a while, get cleaned out, and then after 30 days, you can reach out to me if you want. You could join the private group coaching, whatever. It's like 30. It's only $37 a month. Really easy to do. So our liver and our gallbladder, the bile ducts are full of this shit. Just full of it from the standard American diet and the toxic stuff. But the liver, you'll drink like some magnesium chloride, right? Epsom salts. freaking tastes nasty. You got to drink it through a straw. It's very timed out. And then you're going to take like 4 ounces, I think it was, of, it's all written out, grapefruit juice or orange. The bile ducts get dilated from the Epsom salts. And then when you flush all of that freaking fat in there, so you take it very gentle for a day or two before and after when you're doing this, like doing surgery without a knife. You wait a month and you do it again. And you wait a month and you do it again. You cane filter will now be cleaned out and be able to handle and process things. So you've just done a major tune-up on your body. And we've helped people avoid gallbladders.
And I do live on the beach, so I am connected to the earth, and I'm barefoot 95% of the time. But
that's awesome. That's awesome. Generations of trial and error. Right. Yeah, pretty cool stuff.
Yeah, it really is. I'm familiar with Ayurvedic.
On the uptake.
Well, one of the things that I buy his products. Yes, that was the very first thing that I did. I learned something new, like what he just walked through, the whole and gallbladder cleanse, whatever. I'm just like, what?
Opportunity, man. If you guys want to do the liver thing together, that would be really cool. And then what you do is you can schedule the colon hydrotherapy to need somebody. And like the doctors aren't going to do it. They're just going to say, oh, that's stupid bullshit. Let's just cut it out. We don't got time to talk about this woo-woo shit. I'm going to cut your leg off.
And I really have, since 2020 is in the past. I'm so far beyond that now. I'm just like, no, this is the year. Absolutely love it. And then now, because Tim and I become really close, he's always giving me these nice little nuggets that I get to learn. I feel like I'm
muscle building, something like that, about the revolutionary in muscle building. So I met this guy, Dr. John Jakewish.
Oh, yeah.
It takes less than 10 minutes. But so by the time most people are like, oh shit, yeah, I got to go to the gym, I'm freaking done. Yeah. I've tripled my muscle growth based on science, and it's my fascia stretched. And once you're over 40, you should be doing stretching daily. Period. Otherwise, I got off of yoga. NFL football players started doing it because they could increase their careers and make millions of dollars more because of their injuries. It wasn't their muscles weren't strong, but they're
somebody who's done all kinds of routines and Carter, you'll love it. I mean, it makes you strong, and it's 10 minutes a day.
Dude.
All right, guys, it's been a pleasure. If you ever want to have me back, I'd be happy to do it.
Hey, if you ever want to have us in Puerto Rico, let us know. We'll come down.
Hey, Enrichers. Thanks for tuning in to another episode of the Health and Wealth Podcast. I'm your host, Carter Wilcoxon.
And I'm your host, Tim James. And by God, we are committed to helping you guys have fat wallets, flat bellies. So tune in again for another episode, and make sure to like, share, and drink a lot of water.
Or beer.
You have just listened to the Health and Wealth Podcast with Carter and Tim.